Hey, welcome to Greatest Golfer. I'm Todd Franco. Glad to have you. First event of the 2021 Greatest Golfer postseason, and couldn't think of a better way to start postseason Greatest Golfer than bringing out two of Greatest Golfer's finest overtime players that we've had in years, 2 years in a row. They've felt the urge to duke it out in the men's open division, and thrilled to have Brandon Pluchinsky and thrilled to have Brian Kordupel. Boys, how are you doing tonight?
You can get
Go ahead, bro.
We're too modest. Doing well.
Just fine and dandy over here.
I guess first things first, how's fatherhood?
Just great. He's a very good baby, and he tries not to take naps during the day, but he sleeps at night pretty well. He sleeps through the night, so it's been good.
So clearly the rest of the golf world is pretty pissed off, especially the open division, because they figured once you started having a kid in your life, your golf game would return to like what the rest of us contend with. But no, that didn't happen this summer.
I've been getting a lot of comments for it, and I told him, I said, it's not going to fall. I'm going to work to keep it where it's at, and it's staying here.
And Brian Kordupel, how's college life? Tell me about the apartment. Tell me about YSU.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I've been fortunate enough to live on campus for the past 3 years at the University Edge with 4 of my close buddies I went to high school with. You know, we have a lot of fun, you know, watching sports and whatnot, you know. And I room with Brian as well, who's on the golf team. So it's just been great the past few years. Brian, I didn't really know until freshman year when I started playing golf. I'll never forget the first time I played a round of golf with Brian Shirlesky. I was like shaking like it was Tiger Woods, you know, because I was a kid that couldn't even break 45 at the time. But no, Brian and I have been really, you know, close friends over the past few years. And Cade, I think I've probably known the longest. Just I went to middle school with him, so through other sports and whatnot.
How's the talk to me quickly about the post greatest golf season? Brandon, you came off a big win this weekend, President's Cup, Lake Club versus Tippy versus Youngstown versus Trumbull. You boys had the home course advantage. Talk about President's Cup.
It was honestly a lot of fun. The guys we got out there were it was a good, well-rounded team for the way the matches played out.
Could you have won on a different course?
Could the Lake Club team have won on a different course?
Yeah. How much?
Of course. Of course.
Oh, yeah. Listen to him.
Of course.
Brian, did you see how he paused for a little bit on that?
There's no pause.
There's a second of doubt. I heard it.
Brian, you are in the middle of your third season at YSU?
This is my 4th season.
How's it going? Talk to me.
So far, so good. We're 2 tournaments in. 2 tournaments in. We played Turning Stone, the first one, which is in Verona, New York, and then we played at Guyane, where Brandon tore that place up a few times, I heard.
A few times.
Next one's at Lakewood for Cleveland State's Invitational, actually next Monday, Tuesday. And we're going to round it out with a few more events in October. And Towson, we're playing NCR, Dayton's tournament. And I believe we're going to do Bucknell's tournament too, and that should be it.
All right. Is this your last season, or do you have a 5th season redshirt option?
I plan on doing a 5th year. I'm probably going to go back for my master's in leadership. I'm going to graduate this year with a degree in engineering.
Nice.
I'd like to come back for one more year if I can. Thank you very much.
The reason you guys are here tonight is I'm just eager in wrapping up Greatest Golfer 2021. I know, Brian, it's a little sore spot, but I still think you enjoy smiling about it. So even though there weren't 2 W's on your side of the column, I think you recognize that you guys put on such a great show, and I really wanted to just circle back with that. From the champ, talk to me about it first.
So we flipped it this year. We were going in. I finished before Brian this year. Last year, he finished before me. And I'm not going to lie, I really like coming from behind in golf tournaments. Like I always tell people, I'd rather be 2 back in the group behind or playing with the leader than being in the lead. Once we got up there, I was just kind of standing behind the green. And I mean, I'll say this till I die. I did not want to see Brian make bogey on that last hole. I wanted to see him make par and win it. I don't want to be in a playoff with a bogey. I want to see someone go get it. You know what I mean?
It was me and John Dowden for most of the part the whole day, going back and forth. I didn't think Plu was – I knew he was lurking around there. You always got to watch out for Plu. I mean, that's just how it is.
To see the lead change, essentially, if the tournament ends on 4, it's Dowden's. If it ends on 6, it's yours. But unfortunately, we have to finish to number 9 or number 18, I should say.
Yeah, I say we walk through these because this is cool from both perspectives. Of
Yeah.
I'm standing on 5 tee box, okay? And I'm trying to figure out where everyone's at because I don't know. And all this goes down and we end up finding out. So JD was 1 up there, you were 1 back, and I was 2 back, right? It was like 1, 2, 3. And it was pretty intense in that little corner there. It was pretty cool.
I mean, I think that 5T always has that weight, and the past 2 years, it's kind of like you get to that tee and like the nerves start to settle in a little bit. It's like, all right, the last few holes, we got some scoreable ones, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that weight on 5T really helped me this year because, you know, I needed a second to recollect after 4.
So then you eagle 6. Brandon, what do you do on 6? Just briefly.
I was like 10 feet left for eagle, not a hard putt, and I just kind of overread it, and it rolled around the hole. I was thinking I had to make that because I know Brian's making birdie or par here. You know, I got to make a little comeback. And I know how far Brian hits the ball, how far anyone hits the ball in that last group. You're going to have a look at birdie. So birdie's kind of par in my mind.
So we shorten up 7. You guys birdie, par, eagle on a short par 4-7?
Par.
Par? Ooh.
You don't want to hear.
Brian, what did you do on 7?
I hit the 3-iron of my life, but I hit this thing, and it was just a draw, and I hit it to about 20 feet and 2-putted it for birdie.
For birdie.
Then what do you guys do on 8? Birdie or par?
Birdie.
Birdie?
I made par. I had to get up and down from long of the green. I went right.
On our 18th hole, which is the number 9 at Lake. Brandon, you birdie it, right?
I finished birdie, par, birdie, birdie, and probably should have finished birdie, birdie, birdie.
And then, Brian, you come up and you end up bogeying, right, on 9?
Yeah, I went a little long. I mean, I thought I flagged this ball, and it probably hit pretty close, maybe 5-10 feet past pin high, and it just hopped off the back, and it really wasn't in a bad spot at all.
That's 2 years in a row that you bogey on 9, right?
I did. The first year I went in that front right bunker. It was a little more of a passive, conservative swing, but this year, Cade, my teammate Krebs, he always told me, you know, like after that playoff last year, he's like, next time when you're at the situation, take your club, take that distance, you know, play for a little adrenaline, and just go right at that stick. And that's what I did.
So now you had said that you weren't quite sure exactly where Brandon was.
So I was thinking that I had a 2-shot lead, not really thinking about Brandon too much.
Yeah. When does it sink in that you've got a playoff?
Literally, I hold the putt, and I looked at Ethan, my caddy. I said, "Did I win?" Like, I was like, I don't know. Like, nobody's really clapping, like, you know. And then I kind of walked off, and I saw my roommate Bob and, you know, all the other people that came out to support me, Brian and Steven and Neil and everyone. And they looked at me and they said, "Run it back." I'm like, okay, we're doing this again, I guess, you know.
And you just assumed it had to be Brandon, right?
Yeah, I figured because.
So I have a question for you. Did you hear anything on hole 8?
I didn't.
Okay, I made a 30-footer straight up the hill on that hole for birdie. And so the kid I sent you a picture of, one of my friends, he wasn't there the whole day, and he ends up showing up for that hole. I didn't know he was there. So I hit this putt, and I kind of like walked it a little bit. I kind of liked it a little bit. And it goes in, and I just hear this kid go, "Come on, Plu," like out of nowhere. It was kind of funny. So I didn't know if you heard it because it was pretty loud.
I did. I mean, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
What's it like playing in front of the crowd?
Awesome. Incredible. 2 years in a row. Cool. I mean, last year more so, like, because I think that was right after kind of the whole shutdown thing. And that was really the first time I saw a bunch of people around each other together. And there was probably a good 300 people out there.
Yeah.
I hear you guys liking the crowd. I think it is kind of a special part of it again. Brian, talk to me about the Champs game. What do you like when you watch Brandon play?
I mean, he's just solid in every aspect of the game. If I could hit my irons as well as he hits his irons, I'd be, you know, breaking some Horizon League records, I feel like.
Brandon, talk to me about Brian's game.
What I would say about Brian, knowing Brian forever, is the growth and how much better he has gotten. I remember seeing Brian at Reserve Run literally every day. Like, and my dad would always see him, and I knew he had the work ethic to do it. And I mean, I obviously I'm encouraging Brian forever, and just the growth that he's like, there's no other way to put it. I mean, how far he hits the ball, how good he strikes. I mean, it's like, kind of like what he said about me. It's an all-around game. There's nothing that's a weakness in his golf game, and it's good to see. It's good to see that he's on the hometown team for the Youngstown State.
Brian, talk about how you find value, success, the reward, despite what obviously it's a bummer to not have the W.
I mean, yeah, it always stinks when you don't come through like that. And, you know, you sit in the car when you're going home and you have all these regrets about all the shots that you hit bad and you should have done this or hit this club. But at the end of the day, like, putting yourself in that situation, I mean, Brandon too, you got to do a lot of good things. Like, I went eagle birdie back to back on 2 holes to put myself after responding from adversity from the double bogey, you know, learn from it. I learned this time that I really didn't get nervous. Like, I embraced the nerves and I loved playing in front of a bunch of people. And when I had a winning putt, I wanted to make it. I didn't get shy with it. You know, the more you put yourself in the situation, you know, the sooner you'll succeed, I guess.
But when you look at the champions, and even honestly looking at the Open division, you know, golf's a grind, and it is, you know, 5 hours of everything is on you. Brandon, when I think of you and just, you know, 3 tiebreakers, right? So everyone thinks, all right, 5-time champion, blah, blah, blah. But 2 of them were overtimes with this guy. One of them's overtime with Joey Salone. You're losing to Jonah in one of the years.
Always in the rear view.
Don't forget about me.
Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear, Todd.
I'm going to get that print on my sleeve. I would say I'm one of the most mentally strong golfers. I mean, I get pissed pretty quickly, but I'm pretty good at letting it go. And I help some younger kids like get their swing, and I tell them, like, once you get the swing, that's not what's screwing people up. It's up here. 85% of golf's mental. Brian can swing it just as well as I can. It's just getting to the point of getting yourself to believe you can do it. And
give us a glimpse of the baggage or the ball busting or the whatever about having 5-time greatest champ attached to your name.
So we bought our house in Canfield. This was 1.5 years ago. Okay. And I walk out of my garage one day to take the trash down, and our neighbor's standing outside. And I walk up, and he's like, he looks at me, he's like, wait a second, do you golf? I'm like, yeah, why? Because he saw my Youngstown State bag and my Ohio bag that I have. He's like, wait a second, where did I just see your face? I'm like, I'm not really sure. What do you say? He's like, hold on. He walks inside and brings his wife out, and his wife goes, wait a second, he was on the Greatest Golfer commercial 10 seconds ago. And he never even like put 2 and 2 together. And then we started talking, and he's actually an avid golfer. So yeah, it's kind of funny. It's all good. Everyone that's in the Greatest Golfer is all there for each other. And it's a good group of people. It's awesome.
Brandon, we're going to start with you. All right, pal, talk to me about this most famous, important photo in your golf career.
Oh boy. I mean, this squad.
Holy cow.
Here, Brian, I'll give you a rundown of what this squad was. We were 8 under through 8, and I think we finished 8 under through 18.
Oh my God, this is on a golf course.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Brian, I know you're jealous to not be part of this group, but this is
wow.
This is the
This is
the M&M Classic. Mark and Mike Solly, Labor Day Sunday every year, sells out, and yeah, as you can tell, I was the anchor of the team. I was the cornerstone. I like this photo. What do you remember about last year and the green? Brandon, you stuck it. That's you sitting there in the front.
Yeah, he did.
Who noticed? I think if you go back to this photo, I think that's Brandon's head trying to peek up to see how close he is. And Brian's probably looking over at him saying, "You son of a bitch."
That's exactly what I was saying, probably. I remember I hit a pretty good shot in there, and I think I just hit a little – that's my ball mark right there on the left there, or the right.
Is it right?
And it hit that slope and just went off the left side of the green. I remember it hitting, and everyone went, oh, and, started clapping. And I'm like, all right, I hit a pretty good shot. I remember right after that swing, I'm thinking, okay, I just put pressure on him, not knowing, Plus, the Michael Jordan Game 7, whatever he has locked in his mind. And this dude gets up on the tee, and I'm not kidding you. It was all in just like 1 second, I felt like. Gets up on the tee, swings, doesn't even let the ball get halfway to the hole. He twirls it and starts walking after it. And I'm just sitting there like with my jaw dropped like, oh my God, that's going to go in. he hits it about 3 feet and everyone goes nuts.
Brian, I think this next shot after this, you actually catch air on this putt. Do you remember much about this putt?
Yeah.
This ball is actually off the green.
The fringe kind of bumped it.
It was in the fringe and it kind of hopped up on that first. I had to hit it a little harder, I know, because it was uphill. I actually have both those pictures pinned up on my bulletin board up here, just so you know.
Yeah,
I love this picture.
Yeah, what do you remember about the putt?
I knew it broke a lot to the left, and my putts, my favorite putts kind of move to the right, I feel like. I always kind of pull these uphill ones a little more than I should and miss them low. But I hit it, and I thought it was on a good line, but I did give it a lot of speed, and I blew it about 4 feet past, I know.
Did you? The photographer is right in your wind here. Did you even know the photographer was there? Did you even?
I was glad she was there because this is one of my favorite pictures.
One of my favorite pictures. Definitely love the framing of it. I think it's our first time we had such a cool photo with the lake club in the background and the people and two good grimaces on your face. I think it's a really cool shot.
For sure.
For sure. Yeah, this is one of my favorite pictures too.
Yeah, it just really captures what I like to, both you guys, pretty good, joyful look on the face. Here's a photo from 2 years ago. I like this, kind of that generational thing too. You and Scotty Porter. Talk about playing with Scotty Porter.
It was very fun. He kept saying that he wasn't going to play good, and he's there to watch us. And I know he is a very good golfer, and he was not there to watch us. He played pretty well. Didn't play his best, but yeah, it was awesome to play with him.
How about Griffin Todd's game? Here's a guy who doesn't grow up playing golf and just destroys the ball.
Smokes it. Smokes it.
Yeah.
He hits it probably 10 yards further than – I think I hit the ball pretty far, but Griffin's hitting it by me every single time. And I think his length allows him to overpower golf course. He's a really good ball striker and a really good player. It's an all-around good game.
Yeah. BK, there's you and Ethan.
Yeah, that shirt's a little small on him because he told me to find the smaller shirt I had in my closet. So he wanted to look a little big out there. He wanted to wear it so he can get up on the tee and, kind of get in Plu's face a little bit.
Gotcha. Now, Ethan's a Boardman guy too, right?
Ethan is, yeah. He's 2 years older than me, and he's my neighbor, or he was my neighbor growing up, so he's like a brother to me. He actually moved to Raleigh this year, so he drove up to be on the back for me on Sunday. I told him let's run it back, and he wanted to do it. But
he drove up from Raleigh just to caddy for you.
That's a good friend right there, Todd.
That's pretty awesome. Where's this, Brian? This is
That's behind 18, the first round, I believe, when I went a little long. And it wasn't a bad spot to be in. It just had that slope to the left a little bit. And at that point, I wasn't really trying to get too aggressive with that chip. I just kind of wanted to get it down there and give myself a look. But, yeah, it was a good spot to be in. I love this picture, too.
So just to sum that up, you hit an 8 iron at about 190 for the guys.
My stock 8's about 175, but I think just a little adrenaline.
Both you guys have mentioned the effect of adrenaline on the shot. So
yeah, for sure. I think coming down the stretch, you don't realize it, but you just swing harder. You're kind of into it. The juices are flowing a little bit, and I think you just give it a little more. So you got to play for like 5 yards more usually. I feel like.
Well, I love this photo. I know it's a bad photo, but
thanks, Todd.
Well, I think the person who respects losing and understands the value of what losing can teach you, but also, first thing I saw was the background too. So I see it on your face, BK, but I also see the look on Brandon is like, you don't want to win this way. Brian, how close were you to getting the bogey and sending it back up to the tee box again?
I thought I had it off the face. I'm not going to lie, Todd. Both those putts I hit, and the one I had in regulation. So I had the same putt, and they did two completely different things. Just because I might have been like on the different side of a ridge or something. My one in regulation went right, and the one in the playoff went left.
How does greatest fit in your life? What do you like about greatest?
I would say the main thing that I like the most is being able to compete against, like I say every year, is all the local guys, because this community is one of the strongest communities for golf. Like some of the tournaments I played at 10 handicap would never sign up. You know what I mean? And those guys are the guys that love golf. Like they're there for golf. Like they can talk golf just as much as I can talk golf, or Brian can talk golf, or you can talk golf. So it's awesome to be out there with all of them. Like on the putting green at Mill Creek, there's 1,000 people there. Nobody's out there to hit a putt. You're all out there to talk. It's cool.
Yes.
Ryan, your thoughts on greatest?
I'm going to applaud you for your efforts on Friday at Mill Creek, because I don't know how the hell you pulled that off. I mean, I saw pictures of 18 fairway on the north there, and it was literally a lake. I'm like, there's no way we're going to play tomorrow. This was 6 o'clock the night before. Hats off to you and your crew.